Hi, I am Somokanti Ghosh, a professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Kharagpur. I shall be offering a course on cloud computing under this MOOC program, and two of my scholars, Subobroto and Shreya, will be assisting in this course. So, as we all know, or as we all experience in today's life, computing is one of a part and parcel of our day to day life, like our telephone services and other type of utility services. Now, if you look at that evolution of the computing paradigm, it has gone through different phases. We started with simple systems to mainframe system to mini frame system. Now, we have evolved to distributed systems, grid computing, cluster computing and so on. Now, in recent time, or I should say last one decade or so, there is a need of whether this computing can be given as a service, right, or as a utility like we experience in phone or this telecom services, or even power grid, like I pay what I use, right. So, this has become possible due to several other technologies which have evolved in a large way, like our communication network or communication network. So, we have a easy availability of large volume of bandwidth with a very low cost, large amount of computing service at a low cost, and this has evolved to a system that whether I can have a on demand computing. That means, I do not buy any systems, because I do not need to have other infrastructure like AC, power, etc., but I can use my system as and when I like to have it. So, this is something what is known as something what you go for a pay as you go model, right. So, this cloud computing is basically enabling technology which allows me to work on this type of fashion, like I can have enormous resources or scale up, scale down on resources as and when the demands come on my part, so that I can easily enable resources or easily deallocate resources as and when we feel so. So, this sort of thing have lot of technologies which work in the background. Particularly in this course, we try to see what enable this cloud computing to make it a success, right. Like what are the things we need to learn from the point of view of computer science or IT background, that to know that what is going on at the background. So, in this course, if you look at, we will try to look at several aspects, like one is that how this evolution of this cloud computing came into play, right, whether it is a suddenly a totally new thing or evolve as a other type of stuff. So, that is one of the things we like to look at, and what we as experience that it is our computing world or all our interaction with the systems, etc., has came to a is basically converging to a concept of service oriented architecture. So, we will talk about service oriented architecture, web services, and whether this sort of a concept or anything as a service or XaaS, like I can have software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, or I can extend it to something as a data as a service or anything as a service type of model. So, enable this sort of service model. So, what sort of architecture is required, that we will try to look into in this course. Along with that, every new paradigm has different type of other things it bring into play, like what should be my security mechanisms. When we say that my computing will be in somewhere in the cloud, or my data will reside on somewhere in the cloud, what will be the security aspects on the things, right, how much I trust, how much I can have risk on the thing, etc. So, we talk about some of the aspects of security and other quality of service related issues. There are issues of service management, like I buy some service, if the system is at my hand is something, if the system is somewhere externally, then what should be the service level agreement, what are the different type of service management issues we will try to look into. There is a big aspects of resource management in cloud, like how at the background the service provider or what we commonly say cloud service provider or CSPs will manage the background. Those type of things also we will try to look into in this course. Also we try to see some of the some field of, primarily with help of Subhobroto and Shreya, that what are the different open source and commercial clouds and how it works, how was the users experience on those clouds, etc. That we will try to give you, will also introduce in these things. And if at the end of the course we will try to see that what is the research orientation or the upcoming research opportunities in this cloud computing, what are the other related technologies which are becoming important or which need to be looked into with this cloud computing aspects. So, these are a broad overview of the course. In the due course of the, when we go through the lectures, in the first 1 or 2 lectures I will give you more detail about the course content and related materials and books which will be followed. As far as my expectation goes, this will be extremely helpful for students at the BTech, MTech, or you can say UG, PG level, even MCA, MS, or even as a coursework for PhD scholars who want to have their career or research in the cloud computing arena. So, what we feel that as this is this very upcoming field, not only in itself, also it basically span into different other aspects. So, it is it will be a important course for several UG and PG level students. Even it will be helpful to other professionals who are not directly, may not be doing research on cloud computing, or but want to know that what are the different aspects of the things, what are the different backbone architecture, virtualization techniques and theories and type of things, that will be helpful. What I expect in this basic in this course, if you look at that at what level the course will be there, it is definitely not a UG, PG or especially UG first year course. So, what we expect that some little bit of knowledge of operating system and networking will be helpful for the students to understand the course, or otherwise they have to have some recap or some other supplementary material to look into the things. So, overall I feel it will be a very fruitful course for different category of students, and once we go through the course lectures, I believe that you will find it's a lot of interesting, and I believe that it will be not only helpful for your own syllabus or course or knowledge, it will also open up different research avenues like what the Subhobroto or Shreya are banging on. So, it's a that will be open up in overall a gamut of different aspects related to the cloud computing. I again welcome you all for this course and hope you will enjoy this cloud computing course. Thank you.